And Antigua.
So welcome to Liquidated. Shout out to Yeet and Timepiece Trading, who sponsored me for my fight on October 1st in Singapore for Token. But I have the honor and privilege of having Brian Mekon on today, who, I've been a big fan of you for quite some time, ever since I saw you on the World Series of Poker and your involvement in Bitcoin. I got into Bitcoin around 2016, 2017, and I always admired your commitment to kind of doing your own thing and, staying kind of true to who you are. I like, individualism and being able to, not work a 9 to 5 and do the things that I think are interesting and fun to do. And I think you've kind of built your life around doing those things. And it's something that to me is admirable. And we don't know each other very well. I know people that we never really talked too much, but I've always, thought highly of you. I know, Brian Pellegrino and JMO I'll be seeing in Singapore and things like that. But always been a big fan, brother.
Yeah, that's way too kind. Shout to Cunty Cakes, of course. And I'm always blissfully unaware of who's aware of me or I don't know. I don't think I've made that many waves in the space, but no, that's cool. And shout to individualism and doing your own thing. It's in short supply these days.
Agreed. And I'm a Bitcoin maxi, so I have a lot of people on this show that aren't. I try to get the origin stories, a lot of the crypto influencers and some of the guys on the show. But what kind of attracted you, or what was kind of your origin story to getting into Bitcoin or to crypto in general? And is there things from your childhood or you think that had some patterns that got you into this world? Because for me, I like collecting baseball cards, collecting things that I thought, had some value, apart from whatever. And then I kind of got addicted to the idea of Bitcoin being good for society, but also being a great investment,
Yeah. It's a great question. I mean, I get childhood, not so sure, really where a lot of this came from, but I mean, I was never going to work in an office. I mean, from a very young age, I remember, I remember my mother telling me there was this, it was kind of a crazy situation where I was I wouldn't put on nice clothes for, I don't even remember what the event was.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, you're going to need to wear nice clothes, if you ever want to have any success in the world, or you're going to have to be a garbage man. And that was just, that's not a great lesson to teach kids. But I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, well, fuck that. I'll be a garbage man if I have to. I'm not dressing like an asshole. I just hate it.
Yeah.
And I mean, throughout, I guess, my entire life, and I don't really know where it came from, but I've always had the thought that I wasn't going to do what I saw all these adults doing that were generally unhappy doing it. And I know that was the path. Everybody would say this is the path if you want any success, is you're going to work in an office, you're going to work for somebody else, you're going to do something, and I just remember thinking, even at a young age, trying to figure out how much time that was. I'm like, okay, you're asleep 8 hours, you're awake 16 in a day, and then you go there, 9 to 5 or worse. And I'm like, I'm like, man, that's most of your life. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Definitely not going to do that. And then I was a professional poker player for a while. That was something that was really I guess definitely wasn't going to work. And I remember finding the stock market in college, having some success, and then shooting it all off. And then and then looking for something else. And then I remember I found professional poker, and then it was pretty easy back in the day. It's something that's pretty hard. I didn't know you were sponsored by Yeet. Shout to Bemba. And he's a good friend. We came up about the same time in poker.
Yeah, we were doing the World Series of Poker this year. He's picking me up in his Spectre, a big boss that he is these days. But
Bemba is fully minted. He is certainly it's funny because these guys, we were all like 20-something-year-old kids, and I know this is. Where does the time go? I got a 12-year-old daughter. I got a wife and kid, and do that. But I mean, back then when we came up, we were 20-something-year-old kids, and just like kind of muscling our way into the poker world.
Yeah.
That these online. We were the first generation essentially of online kiddies, is what they used to call us back in the day. I guess that phrase does not apply anymore.
No, it doesn't.
But yeah, no, it's the poker, honestly, it prepares you for crypto like almost perfectly.
Yeah.
And I got into poker really before, pre-crypto and before poker was really a thing. And and it was super easy back then. You could just study up with a couple of books and do just a couple of pretty simple things, essentially folding. And no one else wanted to fold back then.
Yep.
And then you could beat the game, pretty badly and pretty regularly, and it was a great way to print up some money, not have to go to work, and it was every day was different. Everything was, all the spots would change all the time, and I mean that's still true today. But it's just the people are. The people you're playing against today are way better studied. The tools have gotten insane, and the solver work. You can tune up from zero if you have a head on your shoulders. You can tune up pretty quickly now, and and then I mean crypto. Like I mean when I was playing poker, doing some like other gambling stuff, like playing plus EV slot machines. Which wasn't, again, not a massive path to riches, but
wait, whoa. What's a plus EV slot machine? Is that just the like 5-card poker, or like when you're like?
So this still exists today, and
Okay.
it's, again, just like everything else, just like all this other gambling stuff that I used to be into. It's much more competitive and far less fun. But maybe not. There's still some plays out there, but variable state progressive slot machines are absolutely beatable. And these are machines that start in a state where it's a 95% payout game. You're going to lose over time if you just keep clicking the button. And then as people lose, if certain conditions aren't hit, like there's one where just like a certain number of wilds keeps ticking up until it hits. And 1 in 100, it's very rare. But then you would walk all of the casinos and find machines, just walking by tons and tons of machines until you find one in a state that is positive to play it. And these do exist. And
but how do you know that though?
Yeah, I mean, the tolerances of when a variable state slot machine becomes positive expectation, it's a known thing. It's you can data mine it and figure it out. And there's usually someone that's taken some beats to produce that information. And these exist. These exist out there today, and you can see some of the slot. I saw on the internet, on the socials, there are some slot influencers. Now, most of them aren't really going after the plus EV slots, but some of them are, and you can take a look at some of the plays. If you ever really, if you ever get real bored and need to dig through Alan Kessler's feed. A lot of the slots that he's playing are variable state progressives that are in a plus EV state when he plays them. This guy isn't just, he's
not making
this guy isn't just shooting up.
Yeah, he's not
just shooting off. Yeah. This guy is like, a top tier autist. And I love Alan, by the way. Alan is a sweet fucking guy. Like when you peel back the layers, and he's largely misunderstood even still to this day by most of the gambling world. But yeah, those exist. That's a thing. Plus EV slots are absolutely a thing. I grinded them for a little while, and my wife and I, we were still somewhat young. We didn't have a kid yet, and we're running around Vegas, and you're able to, we were, at least at that time, we were able to print up 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a year, just clicking buttons, playing slots, eating all the comps, eating at all the nice restaurants.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I mean, it's a lot of my other.
It's fun when you're in your early 20s. It's fun when you're early 20s.
Sure. It's not something I wouldn't today. it's not, it wouldn't be attractive, even if,
Yeah, you couldn't pay
you
us
could,
100 grand to do that now. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, not a shot. Not there's
So Pone
yeah, go
Lord
ahead.
is 6'9". He's a Twitter guy. He's like in the trenches doing the memes. He's a really bright guy. I don't know if you know who he is on Twitter, but he does the slots like as a degenerate, and like he had a couple weeks on, I think like roll bet or something, or shuffle maybe. I think he hit for like 3.2 million on slots, so over like 3 slot hits or something. But he's since like lost it all. But I'm curious to show him all. Maybe he starts. He lives in Vegas, so I'd like to try to encourage him to do plus EV slots or something that will help him better that.
If you're a straight degen, then like the plus EV slot grind like kind of scratches a lot of those itches.
Yeah.
If you're just a straight like uncontrollable degen, like you could.
There's nothing to do. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and I see it. I see this like that Steve will do it.
Yeah.
I became aware of him. I understand he's massive, but I mean, I live in my own bubble, and so these things take years to hit my feed. And I see a lot of other guys, that train wreck guy. I see a lot of these like slot influencers, and I kind of started like digging in, like looking at it, like what they're doing. What's surely you're not going to just be clicking the 98%, return to player button and somehow profiting. But then they have massive affiliate accounts, and they're obviously promoting the sites that they're blasting off on. And shout to Bemba and Yeet. I mean, I did a stream or two for him, just like try to just like kind of be like, all right, what are these guys doing? They're just they're buying bonuses on mental, and then they're
just getting fucked up and playing slots. That's all they're doing. I mean,
and I guess like I catch myself like scrolling through the bullshit, and then like, oh, the guy hit for 600K. Like, all right, let me watch it. All right, bonus. Oh, they got the big thing. And like, I mean, I guess I see it, but like, it's not like a great thing. It's not like a positive thing.
It's not good for society at all.
I think that there's going to be a generation of kids that get caught in it, and then that get really fucked up by it. There's always a copycat for these influencers, where people that want to go after the same thing. Hey, I want to play slots all day, and stream it, and then make that my job. And like, that's, it's unfortunate that there's a couple people that are making it, that are hitting with it. But, if you ever like kind of understand or like think about where the money comes from, then like that's like really your like base. And that, I mean, that's what led me to Bitcoin too, where like if you just think about like, if you're a slot influencer and then you're just like playing, you're doing streams, you're losing over time, but then you're signing up a bunch of people under your affiliate program, and then the site pays you because you're attracting all of these people to their gambling product that is going to wreck them, that is absolutely going to destroy the people that you're referring there. Then you have to think to yourself, like, okay, like, maybe I'm making some money overall by losing when I play, hitting some, massive variance, hitting some big wins, obviously losing over time, but then everybody else that I referred is losing, and then I win some of that money. Like, if you really think about where the money comes from, then like, these aren't good things. Now, I'm not saying, now again, shout to Bemba and Yeet and the sponsor there. It's fine if you have a bunch of money, if you want to gamble.
Yeah,
totally fine. Totally fine. I remember like I did 2 streams for them because I wanted to. It scratched the itch for me. Like, I'm kind of a degen at heart, and I wanted to
wear makeup as crypto people.
Sure. Like, I think, and so I wanted to, like, I was watching and I'm like, I'm going to spin this myself. I'm going to throw on a couple of K and light that shit on fire for everybody to watch. And like, and then I stopped doing it. I was like, you know what? It's not for me. And I remember like trying to give a bunch of warnings, and I'm like, listen, if you're rich, sign up under my code. But like, if you're not, fucking don't, man. Don't do this. Like if you're not rich, if you're not like, if you don't have everything you want already, don't do this. And I mean, whatever. People are People love the product. People love it.
It seems to be that way too. Like just the people that I know that got really wealthy, apart from like Bitcoin. That's why I love Bitcoin so much, because I think Bitcoin is good for society. And that's the reason why I held it so long. It was because like, yeah, I could make money off it, but I really held it because of the conviction I had of thinking it would be good for society. But like with the gamble, it's weird though. Like when you grow up, it's like your parents tell you not to deal drugs or like to be a bookie or whatever. And like, most of the people that end up being rich are people that are, putting, giving bad signals to people to gamble or otherwise, or dealing drugs or whatever. So it's hard to get those polarizing, like, I guess, outliers where you're making a lot of money. When you're not doing something that's not super great for society sometimes, unless you're doing big tech stuff, or hopefully building something that has some value that I don't really see a lot. Like I can't name a couple businesses on Ethereum or Solana to me that like are doing things great for society other than doing like DeFi protocols. Like, but even then, like, I don't know what that's really doing, otherwise it's like a lot of scary shit,
I totally understand. Like first of all, I'm going to certify just about all of that. Like, I think Bitcoin is good for society. I really do believe change the money, change the world.
Yeah.
And that when you get off of a fiat system and you have something that doesn't inflate, that governments can't decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to make some more of it and I'm going to use it for war. And then, you're like, well, that's a fucked up move. Can we, the people, can we say no? And then not really, you really can't. I mean, your bank account is delimited in that currency. So you really don't have much of a say. You really can't say no. And crypto, when I first learned about it, was just, it was like, I was still, I guess, and I was younger than I am. I was 15 years younger than I am now. And I remember like looking at, it was a lulzsec hack of Sony, and it was in 2011. And I'm playing poker, I'm playing slots. I'm not like, poor, I'm not poor. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm poor, but I mean, I would say that guy is poor now. But I'm kind of scraping along between 0 and 30, 40K, most times, and then bouncing between 5K and 40K, just like life roll, and having fun, having a great fucking time. Just me and my wife would go out every night. We'd eat like we're a millionaire, and just play slots, have some drinks, like 3 out of the 4 nights. Also not that great for you. Also not that great to drink poison, by the way.
Yeah.
And just having fun, and just kind of coasting though, not really building, not really again producing anything valuable for society, not really doing much other than having a good time, and able to survive like that. And then I read about this hacking group lulzsec that hacked Sony, and they left a Bitcoin address at the bottom saying, hey, give us tips, for hacking, a major corporation.
So it's like a white hat.
So that, no. lulzsec was a, give that a Google. lulzsec was a very aggressive, very not white hat hacking group that would just make lulz and fuck up some orgs. I've always been like super fascinated with the hacking culture, like especially like not really today so much, more like the kind of hacktivist culture of the mid 2000s to like mid teens, like just the Op Wall Street, the Anonymous, like the beginning of Anonymous, not the awfulness that it's become today, but just like kind of the beginning, like kind of pushing back against like surveillance, against like, there was a lot of the early stuff that they did that I was like really into. And I would just like that. I was like, man, yeah, you should fuck those guys up. And I always followed like, you just like all the moves, and you never agree with everything that somebody does, or that a group like that does. But when they hacked Sony and asked, I was just kind of I was just like kind of on this, just on the sideline, just kind of like, you know, I don't know, just like an interested observer, maybe a fan, you could say.
Yeah.
And then so they hacked Sony. They left a Bitcoin address. This is like mid 2011 or something, somewhere around there. I'm sure that Sony hack is verifiable if you really want to date. But and then that set off like just like a bomb in my head, where I was just like, wait, what? You can't ask for money when you have to have FBI, CIA, whoever the fuck like looking for you, you know, for doing this, like, you know, insane crime that like for sure people are just like trying to figure out who did it. And then they're asking for money. You know, if you ask for you leave your PayPal address at that point, then like, well, okay, they're going to knock on your door immediately. And so I started researching it. All right, what is this? What is this string of characters? Why are they asking for tips? What? And then it's like, okay, it's new money. And I'm like, it can't be money, you know. And then like all the like initial skepticism that you should have when somebody throws an idea like that at you, when they're like, okay, here's non-governmental money, and you're like, okay, well, what's it backed by? Well, okay, well, you know, how would I trade it for US dollars? That's what I'm most concerned about. And so I read about Bitcoin, I read about all of it. And then, you know, I have, again, just like always been a skeptical person. So, you know, okay, well, this, okay, yes, all right, no, it's not back, but okay, well, but you know, people are buying and selling it, but people want to use it for money. And it kind of like, at that moment, like really within like maybe even 72 hours of researching after seeing a Bitcoin address the first time, I remember telling my wife, I'm like, you know what, we're done with poker and you know, and gambling in general. Like we're Bitcoin people now. Like we're doing this. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do what I've been doing, you know, my whole life, or you know, the last, you know, decade or so. Now I'm gonna do this. And it just seemed like you said, like when you think about it, you're like, wow, this would be great for society. And I became like really evangelical about it. And I told every single person that I knew, that I liked, that I respected, I'm like, got to look at Bitcoin, you know. And I don't really do a lot of this anymore, where I'm like, hey, you should invest your own money in this. Like, I feel that that's like everyone on the internet screaming that they're shilling, everybody's shilling something. I think that to tell somebody, hey, I think you should throw your money at this, is like, that's like a huge thing to tell somebody. Like, and
be certain.
And I'm super cautious now. And like every time like there's anything that I think might go up, like I think these Telegram gifts are up next. And like whenever I tell anybody about it, I'm like, listen, like, you know, like, because a lot of people know I hit pretty big on rare Pepes in 2021.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I was pretty public about it. And like I still sell a shit ton on the OpenSea and everything. And like, and
you have a Naka, right?
I do have a Naka. I am a Nakamoto card holder.
I have one Naka as well, sir.
There you go. All right, this is great. We both have an expensive frog JPEG.
Yeah.
The world has run, Eric.
Yeah, I know.
Such that you and I both think, you know, we both consider ourselves rational, smart men.
Yeah.
And we both think that having a 6-figure frog picture is a reasonable idea. We both think that. Imagine the world where like a picture of a frog made by a guy named Mike.
Yeah.
No one knows who he is. We're like, what?
I'm more mentally ill because I paid $230,000 for mine, but I think you probably paid less. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty public. My address is all out there. I bought 5 of them for between like $2K and like $20K or something.
How many do you have?
I only have a single I have a single Nakamoto card right now. And,
what shocks me is like, how are punks selling for so much? Like, to me, there's only 300 Nakas. Like, how? And it's like Bitcoin native. Like, how can this not be going for like way more than, you know? It's insane to me, but I don't know.
I think that, you know, I have a lot of friends that are into the HNFTs, the historic NFTs.
That's what I'm into.
And the thesis, like, even for like, you know, you said you used to collect basketball cards, so when, you know, historic NFTs probably clicked right away for you.
Mm-hmm.
And like you know, I think that over time, and it does take time, where people, like everybody that finds crypto, everybody that finds NFTs in the future, people that make money, that want their, art, that want their showpiece, that want their, what used to be, an expensive watch, or an expensive oil painting. Like now people want a Fidenza. They want different things now in this
Yeah.
in the crazy new crypto world that we live in. And like, crypto is super mainstream. And to think that, like, one of the first NFTs, and like with the Rare Pepe collection, to me is just one of the most special happenings in crypto that has ever happened.
Agreed.
Just to have like an NFT set and it came about on Telegram, and I remember like becoming aware of it in 2016 or 17 or whatever. And like, I'm down in the dumps. I caught a case, and I had to burn up some crypto, and I'm sitting there, and I'm researching what's next, and I'm just kind of nose to the grindstone trying to figure out what to do. Wasn't going to get a job still.
Yeah.
And then the boys are all talking about a new protocol, and I'm like, what is this? And like the only thing on the protocol, for the large part, they're minting frogs. They're just minting Pepes, and I'm like, you know what? It doesn't look like there's a lot of money in it right now, but man, this feels important.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt important at the time, even though I knew there probably wasn't gonna be any money in it, but just to experiment, just to like be playing with some bleeding edge stuff, like felt like the right thing to do, on the late nights, trying to dream up what's next. And I remember like minting them out and like seeing the community that was there. There's like, at the end of the Rare Pepe project, some Japanese artists like come in, they're like, we want to mint too. And they followed all the rules, and like they submitted the XCP. It's like, and then sure enough, there's some Japanese artists represented in the Rare Pepe set. It's just like nothing else came about like this. When it was totally just like a bunch of early like crypto people experimenting, and like just like there's no company, there was no like profit motive at the time. It was just like a bunch of guys mostly smoking weed and just like hanging out, and like just like memeing the things that were happening in the world. So it was like blockchain street art that came about. And like the series 1 card, one of that, the Nakamoto card, the thing that started that thing. Like, I think it's like, it's so strange to say like, okay, I think this frog picture will always have value and likely increase in value like greatly. It's weird to say that, but like, just logically to me, it makes sense.
Yeah, to me too. Like I bought it more because I'm such a Bitcoin guy that I had to have it. It was more just I wanted it, but I do think it's going to go up over time. But even if it doesn't, I'm happy to have it. The CryptoPunk was the same reason, but I care way more about my Naka than I do the CryptoPunk. Keyboard Monkey's been talking to me about like the original. I don't know if you heard of this one, like AI generated NFT, which is called a Robbie, which I guess there was like 200 and something of them. And then they were handed out at like a very expensive like art gallery showing to this very rich billionaire guy who lost most of them. So there's only a few left, but the floor on them is like $1 million. But they're the ugliest fucking things you've ever seen in your life. But it's like the original one. So
You're gonna send me off.
Yeah.
You're gonna send me off into the Google after the show.
Yeah, but Keyboard seems to think they're gonna go for 10, 15 million someday. So we'll see. But the floor on them, I'll send you a link for it, but they look terrible. That's all I can tell you.
I'm going to make a note for myself right here just to research Robbie, just because that sounds super interesting.
Yeah, it was super interesting. And the lore on it's supposed to be pretty interesting per Keyboard. Keyboard had some really big grails. He had to dump a few of them, for whatever reasons, for life stuff. But, he's crushing on Yeet for sure.
Yeah. There's so much of this, like NFTs in general, like just fascinate me. And like, as soon as those drop too, just in general, I, couldn't help but play. I think you gotta have the boys and all your listeners out there, just look at the Telegram gifts. And again, I'm gonna drop the warning here of like,
what is the Telegram? Explain this to me. What is this? What is this?
It's so crazy. This is so nuts to me. Cause like I saw this, it was actually a Rare Pepe scientist that messaged me Snoop Dogg sold 600,000 of these digital items for $12 million, and they sold out in like 20 minutes or something. There's a TMZ article about it. It was like in July. And then he's like, these are Top Shot numbers. These are 2021 Top Shot numbers. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you know what? That is 21. And then I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm on, like most crypto aware people, I'm on Telegram. Like I've been on Telegram for most of a decade. And like, that's where the Rare Pepes, there's a Telegram group. That's where it all came from. And so I look on there, and like, it's like Telegram NFTs dropped like really starting earlier this year. And it's the most amazing thing to me, because like the biggest trade, the OpenSea of this stuff is called Portals. Just like on Telegram, you go to @Portals, and it like opens a mini app, and then you could buy and sell these things, and you buy and sell them for TON, like the Telegram crypto, basically. And they are like, it like solves it. There's 1.4 million active users on Portals, like on the biggest marketplace. And every crypto person I talk to about this, every time I've said this to anybody, they're like, what's that? I've never heard of that. And so there's like a 1.4 million user, like user base already that's not crypto Twitter. It's like it's like,
these are NFTs.
Like a lot of, yeah. So they're NFTs. They can live in your Telegram account, or they can live on the TON blockchain in like a wallet like TON Keeper, which is, again, most crypto Twitter has never played with TON. Most people have like no idea about Telegram NFTs, and they really only started like 8 months ago or something. And the first drop was these ones called Durov's Caps. The second drop was Plush Pepes. There's 3,000 Plush Pepes. The floor is like 12K right now.
Okay.
And like they're sold like pretty regularly. And like Pavel Durov, the guy that started Telegram, was just like an absolute like amazing read. If reading about Pavel, reading about Telegram, it's like just such a bananas ride to really digest the full story.
So
he's like pushing.
Are you investing in these?
Yeah, I'm in heavy in Durov's Caps. I like started firing on Durov's Caps. I just think like once every couple of years, I see like a play that I really see a high conviction play. And I'm not in the streets that often. Like I'm not firing on everything on a daily basis anymore. And like in 2021, I saw these, I just like remember when NFTs started to go nuts. I'm like, man, what about these Rare Pepes? This is like way cooler than like Top Shot cards, or like, and I'm like, yeah, the pictures of a monkey that's worth 50K. I'm like, that's nice. But like, I remember this blockchain street art that me and the boys were making. Like, so I made like a super high conviction play on Rare Pepes in 2021. Like, and now, 2025, whatever, 4 years later, I'm going to do it again with these Telegram gifts. I think once crypto Twitter like finds out about them, because like this is like the thing that really set the bomb off in my head for this one, was that like, do you remember in 2021, like the Bored Ape and CryptoPunk thing? Like it was so hard. Like let's say you bought one, like you made your money in crypto, or you made your money however, and you decided like, you're like, all right, I want $100,000 monkey or $100,000 like CryptoPunk. Do you remember how do you flex that? Like how do you, like, when you buy an expensive watch, when you buy $100,000 watch, you put it on your wrist, you go to the poker room, you go out on a date with a girl, and you go hang out with the boys at at the club or whatever, and and then everybody sees it. The girl sees it. Oh wow, fuck, this guy's got an expensive watch. Maybe it's like, not that that's a great thing or anything. Not that that's a basis to build a relationship on. Or you're closing the business deal. You want the guy to have you want him to have a gold Rolex on the wrist, just so he's a real guy. It's like this type of like sort of like social acceptance, or like social proof of your success. Like, it's again, not necessarily a great thing, but the way that it's done, like in crypto, you would buy a CryptoPunk. You're a CryptoPunk holder. Like when other people in crypto know, Eric, that you're a CryptoPunk holder, their, opinion of you rises in general. In general, they say like, oh shit, like, this this is the type of guy that has an extra 100K lying around. He's not an asshole like me, paycheck to paycheck. This is a real fucking guy. That's kind of what it is. And it's kind of like your trophy too. It's like, and it's kind of like art. It's like when you put $1 million piece of artwork on your wall, you're like, well, I got an extra million, I don't need that money. Like, and it's also, I've always been fascinated by the intersection of art and money. I've always been fascinated by this, even since I was young. And they're like, hey, you see that painting there? And I'm like 12. And they're like, someone just paid, 1.3 million for that painting. I'm like, it's a fucking painting. Like, I could, why would, it's a painting. It's, it's oil, it's canvas, somebody, blah, blah, blah. And then now it's $1 million. And so like the way you flexed a punk, the way you flexed an ape. And the best example of this was when Paris Hilton went on Jimmy Fallon, and they both printed out a picture of the ape to show each other. They had to print it out. And like, for a while you could connect it on Twitter. If you remember that, when you could make your profile an ETH NFT.
Yeah.
I don't believe that exists anymore. I believe that's out. And so like the way you would flex it, you'd copy paste the picture, you'd put it in your Twitter profile. And then like, maybe some of the nerds would go back and verify it. We're like, oh, is this in your wallet or not? Yeah. Like, and if you ever like go up to a female and you're just like, hey, I got a fucking gold monkey. It's worth like 300K.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, let me school you on Ethereum proofs here. I'm not going to show you the wallet because I got to get out the treasure, but let me just sign a transaction the point is that you couldn't, it's not easy to show.
Yeah.
These Telegram NFTs, you throw it right in your profile. You can see it. I got a hat in mine. I got one of these caps on mine that you can see that in our chat, and you can click it, and it just says, "Hey, this is a Durov's cap," and it's like Telegram solved the flex problem of NFTs, and the people that are doing it to each other, the people that like were like the value comes
green
in.
hat. Okay,
Jade on Jade, baby. There's only one in the set. Jade on Jade.
1%.
There's only one of those. Only one of those in the 5,000 Durov's caps.
It's even got a value assigned to it. Is that how much you bought it for? Or?
The value isn't close right now.
Okay.
But Telegram, Durov's like hashing really hard at this.
This has some one you have a watch and like a cigar.
Yeah, I got some dumb shit. I got a dick. Yeah, I got a dick. Do you see the dick on there?
Let's see the purple. You got 2 dicks. You got 2 dicks.
Yeah, I got some dicks. They just dropped dicks. And I bought some dicks, and I send one to my wife, and I'm like, you can send these gifts to any other Telegram account. I'm like, hey, baby, like I want to give you this later. And just like absolutely absurd, just completely absurd. And so by solving the flex problem, so now the most expensive one of these are plush Pepes.
Okay.
And there's 3,000 of them, and they're like 14. And I know it's weird that I'm not even into the Pepe. I'm into the hats. The hats are the first one. The Pepes are the second.
The hat is the original one.
The hat is the number one. That's the Nakamoto card, in my opinion. The Nakamoto card.
And how do you send these on the crypto wallet, or how are they sent?
Yeah, so you can just send them. I could send you. I'll send you a gift. You want a dick, Eric?
I'll take whatever. I'll buy one from you. Just tell me how much I owe you.
You don't need the dick. The dick is like 30 minutes. It's not enough money to worry about. I'm just gonna send you a dick. I mean, that's terrible. You know what? Actually, that's probably not. You know what? Let me choose something else. Let me choose something else here. Can I send you a bag of weed?
Yeah, a bag of weed sounds good.
Let me send you a bag of weed. That feels better than just sending another fucking grown man a digital dick on here. Yeah, I sent you a bag of weed.
So this is
now you got a bag of weed.
I can add this to my profile.
You can add it to your profile. If you have premium, you can wear the weed. You're right. It's not, I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna fucking full stop and just give you an apology.
This is funny. So now that I have it, how do I put it on my profile?
You can just click it and you click where. You click and this is the best part of it. This is why
okay, I'm wearing it.
It's not.
I have it now.
Yeah, you're wearing a bag of weed. And so this NFT flex problem, there's this guy, actually this happened to me today, where a guy hit me up on Telegram and he said, hey, I want you to join this caps holders group, and he didn't have any NFTs in his thing. And I'm like, no, dude, you're a scammer. He's like, no, my other account, I'm away from my other account. I'm like, ha, ha, ha. Yeah. I'm fucking scam proof, buddy. Don't worry, like block. And then later on, this guy did message me from his other account, and he's got plush Pepes. He's got a bunch of caps. He's got, he's got $50, $60, $80,000 worth of NFTs in there. And then now when that guy messages you on Telegram, be like, oh, okay. Like, this is a real guy. Like, I know immediately that this is a real guy. Like when, this guy's got, this high value of NFTs in his account, and it can't be faked. I can provably see he really has them. And so now I can have a conversation. He's like, okay, I want to join this holders group, whatever. And, it's bullshit anyway, but, at least it's like crypto Twitter is like super Telegram centric. Everybody that's pumping and dumping and whatever the play is of the day and whatever the NFT drop is and whatever the news site is, everybody's on Telegram. And like the social proof thing, that expensive watch on your wrist is like, I think like, and like the flex problem solved. I just see these things like, I feel we're like right at that 2021 inflection point where like,
so a few questions, like how much are these caps right now? And like, you transferred me like the weed thing, but like, do I have a crypto wallet that's on TG? Like just, I don't know.
So no, it's a great question. So like they have like an arbitrary waiting period, but in 2 weeks you can send that NFT to the blockchain, to the Ton blockchain. Okay. And like Ton Keeper is like, I think the most popular wallet for Ton. There's also there's a wallet built into Telegram. If you're a non-American, you can go to @wallet right from Telegram, and then it's give you a Ton receiving address right there. And so that NFT lives in your Telegram account right now, but you can send it to the blockchain if you wish to. Okay. And then from there you could sell it on Get Gems. You could sell it on portals. I would assume that I would hope that other services would adopt the Ton blockchain, and then with all the Ton NFTs in the future. Probably not going to happen. It'll probably stay on Telegram with their billion users, which a billion users, that's like, that's reasonable percentage of humanity. Yeah. But that's enough. And, but it is an open, but it is a thing that could be adopted by other services in the future. But
where's the marketplace for the caps?
Portals is the biggest one. It's just @portals on your Telegram, and it opens up a mini app where you can buy and sell this and the other 120 other drops. All the drops are done by Telegram. So nobody can make a drop. So they've kept them pretty limited. Snoop Dogg was the first celebrity drop. And again, it just like all these, every time they drop a gift, it sells out immediately. And again, like the craziest part of this to me is that like 1.5 million users already, but crypto Twitter has no clue on this one. And if you look at guys like Luca Netz, the Pudgy Penguins guy, and like Seed Phrase, they're both already like heavy into it. Like you can look at the Pudgy Penguin Telegram has a bunch of GIFs. They're flexing GIFs over there. Like Luca Netz has a bunch of GIFs on his shit. And so like the super plugged in guys are like already aware. And like the larger swath of crypto Twitter is just like totally unaware. And like I have a bunch of friends. I have a bunch of poker crypto friends that have been like really successful. And we have a couple of TG chats. And like, about a month ago, I'm like, hey guys, like you got to look at this. Like, this is got to be up next.
It has to be. Interesting.
Everybody I spoke to, never heard of it. Never heard of it, Mycon. Like, what is this? Same questions that you have. And just like when I see that, and I already see 1.5 million users, it's mostly Russians. It's like Pavel has this like crazy following because of his arc and like, essentially butting heads with Putin, then getting kicked out of Russia, and then making VK their Facebook, basically the Russian Facebook, and then somehow escaping with a couple 100 million out of that, which was like only 20% of the value or whatever. But, at least you didn't get offed. At least you didn't die in Russia. He escaped to Dubai, and he was in St. Kitts briefly, and then started Telegram. It took that money as soon as he left, started Telegram. It's like, all right, let's start with communication. He's got this big following of Russians and like Middle Easterners and like, you know, business, not just crypto business, but like business over there is done over Telegram. And like the people that want to flex these things today are not crypto Twitter. They're not punk and ape holders. You know, they're not Rare Pepe guys. And I think that like over time, I think that just bleeds as soon as crypto Twitter really understands what's going on. They're already on Telegram.
But we're gonna be retail this time.
Yep, I mean, you're never quite retail.
Yeah.
Might be. The final bidder might be like super rich crypto people. They're like, oh, it's a Veblen good too. Like a plush Pepe at like 12K is like somewhat attractive to people, or like the Durov's cap at like $1,800 is like somewhat attractive. But when it's 50K, like now, like no one can have it. Like now it's like super attractive to like the people that, you know, that want to drive a Ferrari and like, you know, have a big diamond ring and stuff. Like,
yeah. And the caps are the first one, and then the Pepes are the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's like a heart locket after that, and then it trails off into then the dicks are more recent. But I mean, there's only 1,100 dicks, Eric. There's only 1,100 dicks, and I mean,
you know, that's not that many, very, very many dicks.
It's funny because it's like the whole discussion of like Bitcoin, you know, what is money, what's good for society, and like, you know, fiat currency, I think it, you know, and it's people like won't admit this, but at the beginning, fiat currency was like a huge net positive. Just currency in general is like a big net positive for humanity.
Sure.
If you were just doing strict barter, and then all of a sudden there was a currency for whatever reason, for whatever way that people would trust, like a Roman gold coin or something that like people would know, like, okay, I'll give you this food and you'll give me this metal. And then like I can totally, like when they have like it in their head, when society all agrees something's money, it becomes money. I can sell you this food, I can take this coin, and then I can take this coin over there and buy shoes. Like when people like really believe, when that works, when everybody agrees, then like that is a huge net positive for society. And then over time, of course, this got corrupted. And then instead of a gold standard, 1971, every crypto guy knows, everybody's done their research there. And then it gets corrupted with fiat currency, which is still initially a net positive. And then, you know, if your government is not ethical, then all of a sudden it becomes like, you know, somewhere between, you know, having US dollars and having it being the world reserve, essentially the world reserve currency, and having it essentially accepted everywhere, net positive. Using it to print extra and then fund a war machine, that's a negative. Yep. So it's not necessarily like all evil, you know, and it's not necessarily all good. But then when you know, look at something like Bitcoin instead of that as an alternative to that, then, you know, okay, well, this, you know, now all of a sudden you've leveled the playing field. Now all of a sudden you can't pull like a printing war machine trick on this particular currency. And there's like I'm fascinated with like the social sort of like human part of Bitcoin, in the sense that everybody needs to agree something that it is money for it to be money. And like when Eric, what year did you fall into the crypto rabbit hole?
2016. I mean, I bought Bitcoin at $300 and then I sold it for, I think, for a loss. But then I really got heavy into it around 1,200. So I think it was around 2016. And I really had these ideas. I don't know if you had these ideas, but when I really thought about it, like you put the 72 hours in, I thought, okay, like I think that this might solve the national debt crisis. I think that this might, you know, the president might talk about this years from now, and it ended up happening, you know. But that's when I got involved.
So you've seen the progression of just like specifically from a social side of like when you found Bitcoin 2016, people are still sort of making fun of it. People are probably making fun of you.
People make fun of me
believing in it.
Yeah, I was alone. Yeah. So
like as it becomes more socially acceptable, and now the president does, you know, he addressed the crypto nation in Nashville. You know, he's dropping shit coins left and right here. the
Unbelievable, yeah.
president of the United States is dropping shit coins now.
I
So
couldn't
we can
believe it.
say at this point, no, honestly, like, and that's not necessarily a good thing either.
That's not a good thing at all.
But it is a validation of cryptocurrency in general. And just from specifically speaking, not judging each of these moves as good or evil, but speaking specifically from the social aspect of humans need to essentially agree that something's money for it to become money, then you've seen the progression from 2016. I've seen it from 2011 of when something is just an absolute batshit crazy idea in essence. And then now, over time, more and more humans agree it's money. More and more humans create wallets. More and more humans are, even if they don't have a wallet, understand that it's money. And then, you know, now that we, over the last, 15-ish years for me, it is now so much money that it's absolutely money today. We can agree that Bitcoin is money. You can land just about anywhere in the world. You can come here to Antigua. You can hit a Bitcoin ATM and get the local Eastern Caribbean dollar currency. Mm-hmm. You can do the same thing in probably 100 plus different, almost every country in the world. You can land, you can have nothing but a Bitcoin wallet, and then you can trade Bitcoin for local currency, buy the food, buy your shelter, get your travel sorted. You can do just about everything anywhere landing with Bitcoin. And that's, super powerful for so many reasons. Shout to the Human Rights Foundation and my boy Alex Gladstein, who claims that Bitcoin is the single greatest invention for human rights, in our lifetimes. And then if you think about like groups in like, totalitarian regimes and like marginalized groups, like, I know women in Afghanistan, for instance, under Taliban rule, if they could get you a message and send you an address, you can send them Bitcoin, and then you can all of a sudden fund, a marginalized group anywhere in the world. And then they could, same principle exists because they can trade it for local currency. They can get the resources that they need to try to, survive, resist, whatever, get the fuck out of there, whatever it is that you're trying to do. So for human rights, just specifically for human rights, by all the humans agreeing that Bitcoin is money, you have now made a tool for human rights. Like and according to Gladstein, the greatest tool that the HRF has ever seen. And so this thing that we kind of, fuck with all day, every day, I think that like over time, we've now seen that like, it's super validating that all these humans have agreed that it's money. And then now there's all these other great use cases of it.
Yep. With you being in Bitcoin so long, like what, like, and I ask this question for myself as well, because like I get to like, that's why part of the reason I do Liquidated, I'm trying to give back to the crypto community and try to give, like some of the younger kids some advice on how to make decisions or otherwise. And I think a good way to do that is the origin stories I get from, the people in the space. But like, I kind of hit like a point where like, oh, okay, like I met all my goals or financial or whatever. And then I have this existential crisis. Like, did you get to that point at all? Like yourself, like when you had enough money to do kind of whatever you wanted, what kind of keeps you motivated or focused or, what do you focus on at that point?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I got a couple billionaire friends that really deal with that, like hardcore. And I should have printed a lot more money than I have now, but it's okay. I'm pretty comfortable. You can't complain with my run out. You're sitting there broke in 2011 and you can't complain if you just woke up in my financial shoes today. You wouldn't complain. But like honestly, like I think about that a lot, and it's kind of strange because like I was kind of talking to my cousin the other day, and I'm like, you know what I really want to do? Kind of want to just like build a pickleball facility and just like go there every day. Like I just want to like, I want to like post up at the pickleball place, get a little exercise, fall into the restaurant, get a little high protein meal, have some electrolyte packs for sale. And then, I think that's what I want to do. So like I would say that I wake up every day facing that exact crisis, and I would say that I don't have it solved. I don't have it fucking solved. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and I just picked her up from school, and like I think school is broken too. I really want to solve that, Eric. And I invested in this company called Moonrise that was trying to solve it. And like it's like we did a year of homeschool too, which felt fucking amazing. And like, but that's like really hard to do. It's like really difficult to do it to like do homeschool. Like that's your job now. Like that's your fucking job. Now you have another job.
Plus the social aspect, like they need to talk to kids and be around people too, So
it's so my kid is like I'm really lucky. Like I mated with like a smart female. That's like fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then now my kid is smart, and beautiful. And like, that's great.
And then those kids are geniuses, Jesus, as you can imagine.
Yeah, no, right. I mean, this genetic shit that fucking works.
Yeah,
that's legit. And like she's like popular over there, and like she's got some good friends at school. And I agree with you. Like they need the interaction. They need to like be around other kids and like see what's up. But like I can't help but think that like education is just like super broken, like on its face. Like when I was in school and they're like, what, sit down, be quiet, and listen for 30 minutes. I'm like, well, that ain't me. Like,
it's not,
especially if I already know if I've in the first 3 minutes I've figured out what the fuck you're trying to do. I can do it. I can reproduce it. I understand the lesson. Now you're waiting 27 minutes to catch up everybody else.
No reason.
I'm sorry. Like I'm either gonna, I got the ADD. I'm gonna space out. I'm gonna be drawn. I'm gonna fuck with my friend over there. I'm gonna be trying to talk to the girl. Like I'm just not dialed in. I'm sorry. And then to ask a kid that's like 12 to like just lock in from like 8 a.m. to 2:30. Like I can't lock in from 8 a.m. to 2:30 anymore. Like I never could, honestly. Not a single time, like except if I'm playing a poker tournament, and somehow the ADD and the degeneracy, I don't know, somehow that mixes together, and I can do that for 8 straight fucking hours, no problem. But in general, like I think school is broken, and I don't have the answer. I think there's some sort of a community. I think it's like a it's
even
like
the
a blend of
homeschool. The student loans for kids, like I was broke until I was 32. I hit a poker tournament. I used to play poker too. I don't know if you know that. I hit a poker tournament, paid off my student loans, started a law firm, and
nice.
And nice. did really well after that. But if I didn't have student loans when I graduated college, I'd be worth a lot more money. I promise you that. But it's interesting what it kind of prevents real entrepreneurs and real founders or people that have a mind to do unique and interesting things. If you have a bunch of student loans, you're fucked. You got to work a 9 to 5 until you get it paid off. So I think it really prevents the great people in the United States from becoming great people at some time. I had to wait. I don't remember how long it took me to pay off my student loans. I probably like 6 years or something like that. But it takes people much longer than that, and I owed like 500,000 student loans. You know what I mean?
Think about like first of all, that's brilliant. That's a brilliant story. My wife did M&A for a big firm too when I met her too. There's just like this law, and like if you're in general, the college education today is a scam. To take 100%. Out a student loan, get a liberal arts degree, like you have just been scammed.
100%.
And one of the reasons why I say education is broken is because the things that you did, the things that I did to essentially get out the trap, if you will, is not taught in school, and is specifically almost anti-taught in school. You learn in school to, like at the end of college, I remember in Indiana University, not a great school, but it was fun. And actually, parts of it are reasonable, but there's a big job fair where all the big firms, bunch of consulting firms, Anderson's there, and a bunch of IBM at the time. You know, I'm a little old, and everybody's recruiting, and then they're like, yeah, now you go to the job fair and you get a job, like, you know, because you know they know you're in the Kelly School of Business, so they know you got a good degree, and then like this pipeline is like specifically preventing you from doing the shit that you did, from doing the stuff that I did. And like the real lesson, if you know, if I were to grab a kid and you know you put me in charge of teaching the youth, you know, I'm gonna grab them by the ears and be like, listen, you got to think for yourself first of all, and you have to like start with the, you know, with the very abstract of like, do useful things for other people, like find what other people want and do that, build the service for it, do it yourself by hand at the beginning if you have to. You know, if people like that, they're going to reward you with money, hire somebody to help you do it, you know, and start building with, you know, block 1 and block 2, you know, and then build from there. And that's not taught in schools. You're not taught to start with, how do I create value? That's not a lesson in school. There's math, there's science, there's English. This is how you write. Now go get a job. And it's this strange, especially in America. Where I live is a little different. There's a lot of outside time. There's a lot of sunshine. There's a lot of fresh air here. But in America, the vast majority of school is the school, prison, work, industrial complex, where you're like, it's like the same fucking table in the school, in the elementary school, as there is in the prison. Just like the industrial, you know, built for volume, not for comfort. And like, you know, you stand in line. Now it's this. Now it's next period. Now you go here. Now you go here. Follow instructions. And like, that's true for all three of those, you know, industries. It prepares you for the wrong things. And that freedom of thinking, that like, you know, creativity part, that how do you start your own business? How do you make something? How do you start creating value? Is largely just how do you do your taxes? How much money do you need to pay your rent and bills? Like, these lessons are largely just completely thrown out the window for school. You're not prepared for that. That's something that you just like, oh, okay, you're 18, now you're 19. Okay, all right, you got to file your taxes yourself.
And
okay,
largely,
all right, you're 19.
Some of that shit in a week. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's insane.
Sure. It's like, this is like, how are you not preparing people? How are you not preparing kids for actual real life? And then at least trying to just at least have the thought in your head of like, okay, maybe you don't need to just be one of the, if you're not, and to be fair, some people want to be one of the worker drones. Some people are much happier. There's a lot of autists out there that really want to get a paycheck. They know how much they're getting every week, and like they would be unhappy taking risks.
Yeah, this is what makes the simulations real, because you know they work the 9 to 5. They're cool with it. I don't know how they're cooler with it. They're, you know, it's strange to me. You know what I mean?
Dude, I was talking with I spend a lot of time in Indiana and Georgia, and like I'm talking with this dude who's like, you know, just like, you know, guy goes to work, plays pickleball. That's how I met him. Yeah. And he's, you know, just like Friday comes, like goes home, you know, wife and 2 kids, 2.5 kids and a wife, you know, and modest house. And just like, you know, sits down Saturday, it's college football time, pops the Bud Light, you know, puts his arm around the wife. Kids are running around in the backyard in the above ground pool. This guy's fucking happy, you know, and there's like not everybody's built like you. Eric. Yeah. Not everybody's built like me. Like, it's just like, it's like there's a whole big ass spectrum out there. And like that life, like, is not terrible. Like, for the vast majority of people, like going to work, punching the clock, getting the, like, they're not like, there's that hits for some percentage of humanity.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't,
not those with severe ADHD like you and I, but
correct. That isn't going to work for somebody like you and somebody like me.
Yeah.
There's I don't know, that kind of hit me hard, just like thinking, like, I always think like, okay, no, you need to be building something. Like, not everybody's a builder. Like, not everybody like is a risk taker builder. Yeah. And like some people would just be like thrown up in the trash can, sick to their stomach, like, you know, dealing with some of the shit that you've dealt with and dealing with some of the shit that I've dealt with on the path to where we are today. Like, for sure. Like,
warriors or people that are used to conflict or even playing poker, like there's some level of mental health issue, anyone that gambles at all, and then with the crypto stuff and everything else, it's like, people that go to war, they're so used to that chaos, they can't go home to peace. And, that's what I work on all the time. I'm so used to, intense situations, whether my law firm or crypto or, whatever, that this is just, I think that's normal, and it's not normal at all.
I tell my wife sometimes, I'm like, you know what? When I'm older, I just want to tend to a garden of bonsai trees.
Yeah.
I don't want to battle anything. I don't want to gamble on something. I don't want to create anymore. I just want to, every day I want to water the bonsai trees. There's this like little metal thing that you shape it how you want to shape it. And like she kind of laughs at me because she's like, dude, you're one of those ADHD warrior battlers.
Well,
like,
we do want
that's
that.
what you like to do.
You and I actually both want that, but we have to
want that.
Go to therapy or figure out how to figure it out. That's what I'm trying to do right now. But like, yeah, it's crazy. You know what I mean?
Eric, I think we can get it with the bonsai. I think we can fucking get it with the fucking trees. I think with the fucking trees. Fucking like little garden, little Zen garden.
Yeah, I got a little place in Bali. Like, there's a fight club down there, Soma Fight Club. Shout out to those guys. My buddy, his name's King Kong. He's like this crazy animal from the Congo. He's gonna fight the UFC Contender Series at the end of the month. So hopefully he wins this fight. But that's I find some peace there. Like just hanging out. It's a very healthy place, good vibe. But
beating the shit out of people, you find some peace? Is that, or is it just
in a weird way? It's a spiritual thing, like the discipline of training and the discipline, just like probably putting together the bonsai tree. You got to really maintain it every day. There is like the training and getting ready. Really, there is some peacefulness to it at some point.
But then like the end is like you're jumping into crypto fight night, beating the shit out of somebody.
Yeah, the end of it.
That's the culmination of it.
Yeah, but it definitely changed me because like before crypto fight night, I was in this crypto group called the Weetards. We used to go party and travel and do all the crazy stuff you can possibly imagine. And then crypto fight night kind of brought me down to earth, like training and being disciplined and a normal human being again. So that was good.
Dude, however you can find that peace, man. I think a lot of us are the poker community, the crypto community. It's very, very similar. And like you said, there's largely a lot of mental illness.
Poker's peaceful. Like if you and I played a lot of poker, like when we played poker for a lot of money, we'd be nervous out of our fucking minds. Like, but if I play the World Series poker main event, like I'm at peace. I'm like having a great time. I don't care. I mean, I care if I get knocked out, but like I'm in like this tranquil state. I don't know if you are, but that's how I feel.
Flow. A lot of people say they get flow state when they're in that poker tournament. My buddy Dutch Boyd said it better than I've ever heard it said, where Dutch had dealt with some mental illness in the past as well. And he said that he's like, when, sometimes when I'm out in the world, I'm doing this, I'm thinking about 100 different things. Like he said, when I play poker, I'm thinking about nothing. And he said it's like super fucking peaceful and just like, and I think he's describing that flow state.
Yeah.
I get it from flying FPV drones, being goggles down and flying like a DJI Avata or something, or a built race drone. Like for me, that like when it's a situation when you're thinking about nothing else.
Yeah.
When like whatever problem that you're dealing with or whatever, like there is nothing else that matters in that moment for that 2 minutes that the battery lasts, or for Avata 20 minutes, that you are fully locked in. It's 100% of your concentration. And I think poker tournament does that for a lot of people too. I think that's why it's so attractive, to Rex and professional. I think that's why
poker does it for me, but even when I'm in a fight, it doesn't do it for me. I'm still thinking about other stuff. It's crazy. But poker is the only thing. Yeah.
You don't get the flow state in the fight when it's just like there's a guy trying to beat the shit out of you and you're trying to beat the shit out of him?
I think if the guy's like better than me or I like having a tough time, but in the fights I've had, like I'm still thinking about other shit. Like it's weird. I can't explain it.
But poker does that for you, like mentally.
Poker mentally puts me in like this relaxed flow state for sure.
Huh. How about that? No, that's it. That's yeah. No, it was. I would say that when I found it in my late teens, early 20s, I, always been the ADD guy, just doing 100 different things. At that time, I was smoking a lot of weed. Don't smoke much weed anymore. Don't do a lot of weed anymore. But back then, it was like I was trying to just like find anything at all that would allow me to just be calm for a little bit. Be able to sit there and do whatever the other normal people were doing. Like just if it's watching a basketball game.
Did you ever try Ritalin or Adderall or anything that could prescribe it?
I tried it.
And
I tried Adderall.
How did it go for you?
I'm like big fan of Hamilton Morris, and I love researching all the different substances that stigmatized or not that humans have invented, and like got a Sasha Shulgin signed poster on my wall if anybody's deep into the Arrowwood and the beginnings of psychedelics and everything. But Adderall was, I tricked a doctor into Adderall. I don't know if it's trick. I just walked in and just, I guess they're just they were handing out those. I guess they still are. They're just handing out those scripts like candy. I think I was in late 20s or something. And I was like, I'm having trouble concentrating. And I lied to him. I said, my sister did well on Adderall. And he's like, okay, here, have some amphetamine salts. Have a pure form of what I used to call speed. I know they call meth speed now. But when I was in the restaurant industry at 16, they called amphetamine speed. And then they're like, now, fuck it, man. We had, Pfizer or whatever the fuck company make the pure version of it. The amphetamine salts is what Adderall is.
Yeah.
And they're like, we'll just give you the purest fucking hit of, no adulterants in there, just pure. And I remember like taking it the first time because I was really interested in it. I'd copped one from a friend or whatever. And I remember taking it for the first time thinking like, and I got whatever I needed to get done that day, I got that shit done. And that shouldn't surprise anybody if you just fucking jack yourself up on amphetamines that you can, get a task done. I mean, in 1945, the Germans almost took over the world off this shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like when they say, oh, Adderall is a cure for ADHD. Motherfucker, it's like you're getting jacked up on speed, and there's pretty reasonable, withdrawal symptoms from it. 8 hours later, you ain't feeling your best, and then you better re-up that the next day if you want to get a similar performance.
You get a legit hangover from it.
Absolutely. And I remember at that time I would eat an Adderall. At that time, I think I was playing, 8 tables of poker, for 10 hours a day. And then I would eat at the end of that session. And then, and playing tournaments, you never know when that session is going to end. You might re-up the Adderall and, you might eat, not eat for a while. And then I'd smoke weed to come down off of it, coming down, smoke weed. And like that, I remember I think I refilled the prescription once. I think this lasted like a 2-month period. And I built the old Poker Forum donk down on this Adderall shit. I remember just like a frenzied 48-hour Adderall riddled 48 hours where I built a Poker Forum. Dude, it was so crazy, Eric. And it was 2004, I think. And I ripped like a 48-hour Adderall session, built a Poker Forum, passed the fuck out, woke up, and like there's people on it. And I was like, how does this work? Like, I don't remember how I did this, any of it. Like, I just like remember like, I'm like, oh shit, this exists now. That's good. I think there's some security problems. Don't know how to address that. And then like, I remember like, and then we launched this little Poker Forum and podcast and everything. We didn't call it podcast then. We called it radio show.
Yeah.
We didn't have this word. It wasn't like this. It was hard back then. But I wouldn't suggest the Adderall. I mean, maybe a one-off here and there, but I wouldn't suggest just like getting hooked on.
I wouldn't either. Like
on a daily.
Last time I took it is when I took the bar exam, and yeah, it's great for studying and taking the test, but I don't think it's good for your health at all.
Not long term, and like if you need to lock in for something, like
yeah, cool.
Right, maybe
I don't think it's good for playing poker. I think if you're too locked in, you're just more apt to make a mistake. Or to do too much. Sometimes you gotta let the game come to you with poker.
Have you ever tried modafinil?
Mm-mm.
I've only done it, I think, 4 times, and I was just like, I always am fascinated by like how humans like try to change their consciousness. We've been doing it for like thousands of years, and like, alcohol being the most prevalent, which isn't. How did alcohol get to this? Why
I don't know.
was it?
Alcohol is like terrible. Alcohol,
Why do we have
cocaine,
Adderall bars?
mushrooms.
Adderall bars.
Yeah.
Those would be so much more fun. People would be fucking transmitting info at super high rates. Like, a little bit out of your little 2 milligram Adderall or drinks. And then, you end up, if you have 15, you get to the 30, now you're all fucking speeded up.
Yeah.
But modafinil, I think that's the Limitless. You know that movie Limitless?
Oh, it's
Great
interesting.
movie. Great movie. I think that modafinil is like pretty close. There's like, you have to dial in the dosage and everything. And like, I don't really play with it. Again, I've done it handful of times. And I think that like for poker specifically, I think that like was the most locked in that I've ever felt without sort of the Adderall, like you said, like doing too much or like kind of being like too jacked up, if you will, off of the Adderall. I did this, but I played a modafinil session. It was a couple years ago. I bagged close to the chip lead in like in the 2,500 mixed big bet or something.
Wow.
And like, I remember sliding just like 6 hours into it. I remember like sliding like an 80K chip. There was like 3 starting stacks, like bluff in on a hand of whatever the fuck draw. Like, no, I think it was no limit deuce. I remember like sliding in an 80K bet, like just fucking stone psychopath, like
100%
like straight
confidence.
face.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I'm like, this guy's in the muck immediately. Like, I'm like less than like half a 1%. He makes a 7 or an 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this guy's throwing a 10 away right here. Just
Yeah.
like, and like, sure enough, he's like folded. And I remember just like thinking to myself, like, there is no way I'm making this play just like stone sober. Like, there is no way that I'm like I'm just like running all the sims in the head, just like every single fucking second of every hand. I don't know. That's
how often do you play poker? You probably have a home game somewhere in Antigua or however you pronounce it, and then you still doing the World Series or?
I played the World Series the last couple of years. I only went out for a week this time. There's a Bitcoin conference where I announced the end of the scarcity art auctions at the Bitcoin conference. I kind of made myself a job there like 3-4 years ago in Miami. And then I came out for that. And then that was the day the World Series started too, when the Bitcoin conference ended. And so I did that. And I played I really enjoy. I took my family out to Vegas. I think 21, 22, and 23. We rented a house in Summerlin. Did the full Summerlin simulator. Pretend like we still live there. I lived in Vegas for a decade before I came out here. And kid was born in Vegas. Wife loves it. We've still got a big friend network there too. And this year we went to Japan instead. We just like, it's like the last I play. There's a home game here. I play some poker. I like poker. I'm never gonna, I'm a retired poker player. Nobody ever fucking retires.
No, never.
You're just like, maybe you don't play for 2 years. That's fine. Like whatever. You're still a poker player. Like
for me, I just lose money. Back then, I used to make money. Now I just lose money playing.
Dude,
poker.
I didn't produce a positive World Series in the last couple of years. Like these kids are good too. Everyone's doing their sim work.
Yeah,
they got the solver. I'm a wreck. I'm fine, but that's what you always want to be, Eric. You always wanted to be the businessman wreck.
Yeah, I want to be the wreck. That's who I wanted to be.
I want to be the wreck.
And I had a great game at Lake Elsinore in California. I don't know, it's like some shitty city in California. There was a great 5-10 game I grew up playing with all businessmen, and that was the best time of my life playing poker. Like now, it's just not as fun to play these big cash games. It's always fun to play the main event. And that's all I'll play. But I don't play more than 2 or 3 times. I'll go on Hustler Live every once in a while. That's it, though.
Nice. Oh, you go on the streams? You mix it up?
Not the big game, but I'll buy in for like 30, 40, 50K. But something they got where they're buying in for 200K, I don't want to play.
Yeah, that could have fire $250,000 every night, like playing
Yeah,
poker.
I mean, these guys are nuts, and like half of them are like half the guys in that game are broke. They just get that sponsorship money or whatever. I don't know how they're getting the coin, but you know, some of the guys are giga rich and can handle.
You remember the poker, or I remember the poker world. Like, you know, guy playing every 25K doesn't necessarily have, you know, 6 million in the bank. It's not necessarily how that economy works.
Yeah, it's not a great world to live in. Like the guys that made it in poker, that unless they were like a really good cash game player, like got into crypto or started a sports book, you know?
Dude, I think I had a hand in poker players being way overrepresented in crypto now.
Yeah.
I think that some of my early moves helped push a lot of those guys into it. But
which is great, you know?
Yeah, no, it's super fun. Honestly, whenever I go back and play the series, like I get just like one of two reactions. They either come up to me and they're like, "My God, holy shit, my God, thank you so much. Like I fucking made money now." Or they come up and they're like, "Mike Khan, I didn't fucking listen to you. You told me like fucking 40 times. You tried to give me 2 Bitcoins back. Like, why didn't I fucking listen?" It's like 1 or 2, but it's overweighted with the positive. It's more positive.
It was fun. I don't know if you know this guy Trader Man is. He's like a kind of famous influencer on crypto Twitter. He like does charts and stuff. But I don't you know what it is? Yeah, I was at his wedding recently, and he has that letter, that email he sent to all his friends in the wedding. You know, like no one listened. You know, they all kind of like deep down like aren't super happy with him. You know, it's like, hey, I told you. You know.
I gave you the opportunity. I fucking screamed it to the hilltops for as much as I could, for as long as I could. Like, what else do you want from me?
Yeah, but Brian, thanks for coming on, bro. Hope we'll have you on in the future. I don't know if I'm gonna be in Vegas some other time. Hopefully, we can link up in person one of these days. But are you gonna make it to Singapore at all?
I won't be in Singapore. I just traveled with the family for a month. I'll sit on the island while the kid goes to school. Whoops. Yeah. Education broken. I'll sit on the island for the next couple of months, and then I'll get antsy and do something.
We'll definitely link soon. Maybe I'll try to take a trip out to Antigua or something in November. I should be free that whole month.
Dude, hit me, Eric. I'll give you the hookup out here. It's a good do nothing vacation. There's not that much going on, but if you want the beach and sun, we got that.
Yeah. I'm going to head back to my 72-hour water fast. And before that, though, I'll buy some of those Pepes and a couple of those hats and hit the sauna, I guess.
Yeah. Grab some doll face, too.
Doll face is good, too? All right. Somebody the Pepe.
They fucking blew up my mentions. These guys. I bought this Matt Fury original a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I was wondering what those texts were from, so now I know.
Okay. Dude, it's so fucking ridiculous. Like, these guys, like, I just wake up one day, there's like fucking 50 mentions, and I'm like, what the hell is this? They're looking for like the meme, like Pepe, Andy, Brett. They did every Matt Fury, everything, I guess. And then like they found this that I posted from 2023.
Wow.
And they're like, now that's a meme coin. I'm like, is that a meme? Like, all right. Like,
well, wait, hey, did you buy the fake rares? Because I have a bunch of the fake rares, but I don't know what you thought about those.
I am a fake rare artist as well. My wife and I are both fake rare artists.
Well, you did the Soda Popinski, right? Yeah.
Soda Popinski is a rare Pepe, and then our fake rares are Vasecto Pepe, which commemorates my actual vasectomy.
Okay.
And my wife wrote the haiku. And then fake Peppa are they're actually kind of both my wife's. But those are our fake rares. And I have a bunch of fake
Peppa. I'll have to look. I'll have to double check.
All right, we could do some business. I got if you need the Vasecta Pepe.
I also have a Vasecta Peppa in real life.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you need this one. Now you need a fucking Vasecta Pepe fake rare. Series 1. A Series 1 fake rare. Maybe Series 2. I don't even know what Vasecta Pepe.
Those were dope, though. I do like the fake rares. I think they'll make a comeback too, hopefully, at some point.
Shout to Skrilla. It's like the same vibe that started Rare Pepes. We're like, just, get no company, get the boys together. What's funny? What's hilarious? What's important? Meme everything. I love the vibe of the fake rare set. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's dope. All right, brother. I'll catch up with you soon. Hey, really appreciate it. I'm a big fan of yours for a very long time. This was a fun one for me. Thank you so much.
That's super cool, Eric. Thank you very much for having me on. It's a fun podcast.
All right, my brother.
Good stuff.
Have a good one, man. Later.
You too. Later.